Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Hung, but you just call me Tony for short. Today we are going to have a look at Unit 4, Reading 1, page 38. By the end of the lesson, I hope you will be more confident with other two new reading skills, which are reviewing the reading and guessing new words using the context. We also have some consolidation on skimming and scanning skill. First, we have a look at reviewing. Reviewing skill is an important skill in IELTS reading because sometimes the reading passage is accompanied with photos, and those photos will give you some general understanding of the passage. In this situation, we can see there are two photos. One is recent and the other is a little bit old. And in both photos, we can see that they are all working. So we will have an assumption that the passage is going to be about the workplace. Then we should have a look at the title and the subheading of the passage. And we have another guess about the content of the reading passage. Before you read the passage, you should look at the title and the subheading and think ahead. Ask yourself what the passage is going to be about. In this situation, the titles of this passage is air conditioning. Ask yourself the question, what do I know about this topic? By asking yourself this question, you activate your knowledge of the topic at hand. Therefore, it will make the reading easier. Then we look at the subheading. We can see that we expect the author to tell us about the origin of air conditioning by his use of the word history. We also believe that he has a positive view on air conditioning because of his use of the word pleasant. So, by reading the title and the subheading, we have pretty much a lot of idea of what the passage is going to be about. After you have reviewed the passage, then you go on to skim the passage for the general understanding for the main idea of the passage and confirm if your guess of the reading passage is correct or not. We should spend just a short amount of time on skimming without worrying so much about understanding the passage in details. By skimming, I mean you should look at the first sentence and sometimes the second sentence, the last sentence of each paragraph, because they are the topic sentences and the main idea of each paragraph. Now let's look at another example. Facebook is very convenient. However, some critics complain about the amount of time that teenagers spend on the social networking site. By looking at the position of the word critics, which is placed before the verb, we know that it is a noun, a subject. By looking at the verb complain, we think that critics has to be somebody. It cannot be a thing, because a thing cannot complain. By looking at the verb complain, we assume that critics are people who hold negative views about Facebook. And that is the correct meaning of the word critics. Then we look at another example. Everybody is thrilled at the news of the development of the new pharmaceuticals. Now ask yourself, is it a verb or is it a noun? By looking at the position of the word pharmaceuticals, which is placed after the adjective new, and we can also see the ending s of the word, so we assume that pharmaceuticals is a noun. I'm sure that you have encountered the word pharmacy, pharmacist, so you should think that pharmaceuticals have something to do with drugs and medicines. People are very happy at the news development of the new drugs and the new medicines. You see, without the dictionary, just by using the context around the words, you already have some very good understanding of the word. So the tip here is that you shouldn't panic when you don't know a word when you read. Calm down and use the context around that word to guess its meaning. And that is what a good reader will do. Now we have a look at the reading text type, multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions usually contain two parts. The first one is called the stem, and then the second one, they are the options. The first thing that you do is that you should read the stem carefully and identify the keywords. The keywords are usually the year, the name, the verb. By underlining these words, you should think about their synonym and paraphrases. The next step that you do is to scan for them in the reading passage. By scanning, you look for the words. You don't try to understand the meaning. Once you found the word in the stem, you should read that area very carefully and understand it in details. Then you will read the options A, B, C, and D and choose the one that match with what you have just read. The advice here is that you shouldn't read the options at first because firstly, this is not necessary, and secondly, it will probably confuse you more. One thing to remember is that the multiple choice questions are in order with the information in the passage, which means that the answer to question number 1 might be in paragraph A, and the answer to question number 2 in paragraph B, and so on. Now, the general tips is that every day you should read something in English. Read something that you like, that you find interesting. By reading a lot every single day, it will boost your confidence and your vocabulary. Reading skill takes time and effort to master, so it is a daily habit that you should have. Also, we know that dictionary is essential, but you don't need them all the time, especially in the test room.